And when I'm in a city, I'll go do something and I'll try and come up with a funny story about what happened in that city. And I kind of tried to do that today. I went for a run, and I went to Central Park, which is a few blocks from here. It's like a wooded trail. It's kind of nice. And I was trying to come up with something to talk about tonight, and I couldn't really find anything except for that there were these, there were lots of squirrels in the park, and they were very, very habituated to people. Like, you could tell they'd been fed because they just rush at you and try and take things. And they were like very aggressive, and I was trying to work up this whole funny thing to say about how there's this kingdom of squirrels ruled by them and blah, 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 blah. And how I noticed that the gray squirrels were kind of aggressive, but not too bad. But the black squirrels were like really aggressive. Like, trying to steal from you constantly. I realized, like, this is the most racist squirrel story I've ever heard. So it's like, oh, the squirrel stole my granola bar and it was black. Like, that's what was coming out of my mouth. I'm like, yeah, we're just going to mix the whole squirrel story and then just leave that alone. So yeah, that's the end of my story. I'm going to talk about a few of my favorite comics from the past year, starting with I wrote a comic about Christopher Columbus, and happy late Leif Erikson Day for you Canadians. Sort of how that came about was I was reading about Columbus and looking into the man, both the character and kind of the story behind him. And most people know that Christopher Columbus was a bad guy, or that what happened from Columbus's discovery of the New World was not necessarily a good thing. Smallpox, imperialism, all those kinds of terrible things. Basically, you have a whole continent of people that were essentially wiped out in the next couple hundred years. Most people know that. What I read about Columbus, though, was a bit more than that. Other than the fact that he didn't discover that the world was round, everybody at the time knew it was round, and other than the fact that he didn't technically discover the New World, it was discovered by Leif Erikson, who actually landed in Canada 500 years before he did. And actually, the natives that were there landed there 14,000 years before either one of those guys. That wasn't enough for me to write about it. That's fine.